E3 is over, the Steam summer sale has come to a close, and we're in the video game doldrums of summer. Not much news from the AAA developers, and not much to really get excited about until the weather begins to cool. That doesn't stop us, however. While there's not major news going on, there's still plenty to talk about. It's the first of our annual free play episodes, where for the next hour or two, we'll talk about anything related to video games, whether it's industry news, games, opinions, whatever comes to our heads. So stay tuned. You might learn something. It's Season 4's first free play next on Downloadable Content. Content. I am Brian, and with me we have Ron.
Hi, everyone.
We have Ryan. Welcome back.
Hello.
It is the first of this season's free play episodes. We will talk about anything and everything related to video games. There's plenty of stuff out there, even during the summertime. There are news out there, not enough to generate an entire 90 or 120-minute episode out of, but definitely things worthy of talking about. And so, let's just dive right in. I'm going to open up with news from Capcom.
Ooh.
That you may or may not have heard of. Capcom is now open to a buyout.
I heard about that, actually. Apparently, getting so bad into the red that it's yeah, we didn't find a way to generate sales, so why not have another company help us out?
This news came as of this recording, it's been about a week, but June 17th or so is when the news broke that Capcom announced that it will not be renewing its takeover defense and is now open to a buyout. So there is a possibility that somebody could snatch up Capcom. Which, as we have known Capcom pretty much most of our gaming lives. They've given us such great franchises: Mega Man, Street Fighter, Resident Evil.
Yeah.
And boatloads of others. Those are just the ones that come to my head immediately. So one of my friends who also wanted to be on this episode but couldn't, we were talking about this, and we were talking about who do you think would be a good company to snatch up Capcom? And we decided, we agreed that we think Nintendo should be the one. Because, for us, given our ages, late 20s, early 30s, we grew up playing Capcom games on Nintendo consoles. Mega Man, right there.
Yeah.
So, yes, we had, later we had Resident Evil, which got on, Sony, but I think as developers go, I think Nintendo would be good, especially since apparently Nintendo is treating Mega Man better than Capcom is. So I just wanted to get your thoughts on this whole idea that Capcom could be going bye-bye, or at least be bought by some other developer. Don't all rush.
Doesn't surprise me, to be completely honest, because they haven't really done a whole lot of good, in the public eye recently, and they still decent games, but it seems to be a case with them is one step forward, two steps back, and
okay,
they keep
elaborate on that.
they like Resident Evil 4 was good, and then we're going way back here, and then they seem to step back a bit with 5, and then now like they're trying to. They seem to have a habit too, like more so than other companies do, of milking a franchise to death, for lack of a better term. Yeah, Devil May Cry. I mean, Devil May Cry though. I mean, like the reboot was fine. Like from what I understand, like I've seen people playing it and I've read reviews. Like it's not a bad game. It's just like
the main reason that some people have a problem with it is because it's not the Dante they're used to. I mean, like the whole reboot of Dante and that is it's different. But I honestly enjoyed it.
I don't mind because like just because it isn't the exact same like white-haired like Dante that we're used to from the first few Devil May Cries, like he still presents that same like air of swagger and overbearing, like I'm a badass and I know I am, which it was but most people liked about Dante in the first place. And the gameplay is still pretty good. It's just that maybe part of that's just as a nostalgia of like we want original Dante, not emo, thin, black hair Dante. And then like, I mean, like I keep bringing it up because I think it's such a big deal. It's like they were so pissed that why do I forget his name? Oh my gosh, the creator of Mega Man. Like he didn't want, like he wanted to make another Mega Man game. Capcom said no. He said, okay, well I'm leaving. And like he's made a new game that's basically going to be
not Mega Man.
Yeah, not Mega Man. It's actually it's quote unquote not Mega Man when it's actually Mega Man. Let's call it for what it is. But like, and like people like he literally went on Kickstarter and said, hey, I want to make another not Mega Man game. And the fans said, fine, here's our money, go and make another Mega Man game. Just not under the Mega Man moniker. And it's coming out soon-ish, I want to say.
I will pull that date up in just a second. You are thinking of
Mighty 9 is the name of the game.
Yeah, that's the game. I'm looking up the creator because it's on the tip of my tongue as well.
Which platform is that going to be going for anyway?
Mega Man's going to be on, I think, pretty much everything.
Mighty 9 is showing as Windows, Macintosh, Linux, PS3, PS4, Vita, Wii U, 3DS, Xbox 360, and Xbox One.
Keiji Inafune.
Yes.
Made Mega Man, yes. Because Mighty Number 9 generated so much money on their Kickstarter that they're going to be pretty much putting it out on
everything.
Everything.
Yeah. And like the game it's going to be like a $15, $20 game. Like that's not that bad.
And yeah, that was basically the response to Capcom saying there's no more demand for Mega Man, and they're going, oh really?
Oh really? We just had literally fans give us $4 billion. I'm reading the Wikipedia right now, and they reached their final stretch goal, which was $4 million, and they reached that. And it's insane that like Capcom thinks like, okay, hang on.
And that was just the money they raised on Kickstarter.
Yeah,
that's not counting.
The pledging campaign ended on October 1st, 2013, raising $3.845 million. And then so the I guess the final stretch goal was probably put in by some other people because that's just Kickstarter itself. That doesn't include the like private donations they received. Yeah, they paid an additional $200,000 from PayPal.
Yeah,
wow.
So $4 million. So well done. So no demand, obviously, and that is true. I mean, in recent years, definitely Capcom has shown a love of beating franchises to death. And
yeah, and they're falling into the Capcom like trope. Like they make a really great game. Like they do Street Fighter, they do Devil May Cry, or they do Resident Evil or something like that. And then they just spend the next 7 years milking that off that same title. And like, I mean, they do it with Street Fighter right now. You have like Super Mega Ultra Street Fighter 4 right now, or some weird naming cycle like that.
Yeah.
And like some of that is due to like how the fighting games are, because they usually, which is I find really weird too, considering that like I understand why they did that previously, because updating the game with like new characters, new sprites, and balancing out the things is a lot harder on like a cartridge system than it is compared to today, where you can just literally download a patch and have an update that way. So I'm surprised they don't do more of the patching. But they're so desperate for money that they just have to keep constantly doing these things and putting them on hard disks and getting their money that way.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some of it like that. I haven't really paid too much attention to what Capcom does, but I do know about the whole Mega Man reboot. And I mean, it seems like Capcom's gonna try, if it does go into a merger. I think honestly they got a good chance of getting some really good games out in the coming year.
And I'm taking a look at some of the other Capcom franchises. I mean, and I'm just thinking about all of the sequels and crap they've thrown out, like the Ace Attorney series, Dino Crisis, which hurts me because the first two games were absolutely gold, and then the third game. But and then they have some great games that they don't touch, like Okami.
They did do Mini Okami for the DS, I think, or was it 3DS? But that was about it.
Let's see. They've done Beautiful Joe. That's one of theirs. Final Fight. So there are series that are pretty well popular that they don't do anything with, and then
they have Monster Hunter. Like, okay.
Yes, they have Monster Hunter.
Yeah, like it's not a big one in the US, relatively speaking, but it's freaking insanely huge in Japan. And part of the reason why is just because of how, for lack of a better term, tight-knit Japan is. Like, you have 100 million people sitting on an island that's like basically the size of California. Like, that's a lot of people on a relatively small land mass.
Yeah.
Well, also, there's such clear differences between Japanese gamers and American gamers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure.
So, I mean, they don't mind all of these games that will utilize the same types of gameplay, or maybe not focus so much entirely on graphics, whereas American games, American gamers by and large, and this is just a huge general stereotype, I'm aware, but we have like ADD. We have we need new, refreshing, new, and make sure it's pretty. Fuck gameplay, fuck story. It needs to graphics. We are
Call of Duty being the perfect example.
We're all such Pavlovian, responses to things like that, which is why Doug and I were talking about Earthbound, and talking about how while it went that game when it was released in Japan in 1994, huge, critically sold well, very well loved, and then it released over here and it was a dud because we had no idea what the hell to make of a game that loony, and also we were when the game was released here, we were 3 months away from PS1. So it's like, oh, the graphics suck, and the game is just too weird. So you have such huge differences of opinion and what sells in the two countries.
Exactly, and like that's always been like an issue. I don't say an issue, but a unique thing about the video game industry is that you have such dedicated, defined like lines of like, here's an American game, here's a Japanese game, here's a, for lack of a better term, European game, and here's a Korean game. Like, you have like you can like literally divide up the video game world into like 4 or 5 different sections. Like, you have American games, which are generally speaking graphical heavy, shooter-esque type things. You have Japanese games, which are going to be your more funky, like interesting. Like they're more so like gameplay, platforming type things. Koreans are a lot of like micromanaging and grinding. Like hard work will get you your goal, and then like your European games are going to be some of your more like internal exploration, like thought processy type games.
So I mean, we have such a wide-ranging, style here, but I think Capcom, going back to Capcom, I think Capcom relied too heavily on some of its major franchises, and there's a lot of struggling going on as a result. But
yeah,
it's certainly going to be interesting to see if anybody buys up Capcom. I would like to see Nintendo do it.
I mean, the Nintendo would probably be the best. Is the second one would probably be Square Enix. Like I don't
not
think
Square, not
like,
Square.
Like I don't think I can't see EA or Activision or any sort of like big American company doing it. Like I think it has to be a Japanese developer or a Japanese company, and like I don't see Sony doing it. I mean, like they could, considering like a lot of the Capcom games recently are on PlayStation. Like they could do it too, but like I think Nintendo will be the best fit just because of the style of games that Capcom likes to make.
I personally laughed my butt off if Microsoft tried to go for it. That'd be like
the worst thing in the world. Like if all the companies that would be interested in buying them out, if Microsoft did it, like that's like the worst thing that could happen.
Yeah, I mean, like Microsoft, what are you thinking?
I think the entire video game world would be like, what?
Yeah, they're gonna do the what is it, the face palm? Like they're gonna be like, really, Microsoft, really, just slap their face so hard.
Everyone's gonna do the Picard face palm.
Yeah.
Why indeed. So yes, that is the news that Capcom is now open to being bought out. So now we'll see if anybody jumps to it. So that is my opening salvo. Ron, what piece of news do you have?
Okay.
To chat with.
So I don't know if you are a big mobile person. Like I was talking about, like usually in these free plays I do like League of Legends, esports, things like that.
Yep, you're usually the esports guy.
So this time I'm not going to do League of Legends. I'm actually going to instead go to Dota 2, which is the Valve MOBA.
I have heard of it, so
okay.
I've never played it, but I've heard of it. So
it's
huge.
It's huge. It's like pretty much like if you want to say League of Legends is number one, like in terms of like most played games, more than likely Dota's number 2 because it's still free. It still goes through. It's Steam, so like almost anyone can download it and play it. It's still free. It's the learning curve is a lot steeper compared to League of Legends.
Mm-hmm.
But like as long as you're playing with friends, like you can just have fun and do whatever the heck you want. They do a tournament Valve does every year that's called the International. Now this year's the International 4. And what they do is they do what they call the Compendium, which lets like fans kind of like a fantasy team type thing. It's like you choose your favorite player, choose your favorite team, who do you want to see coming into this, because it's like the Valve and the fans basically say who do we want to see come in here and play in this tournament. And that's basically what the Compendium lets the people do. Also what the Compendium does is lets Valve get money from the fans, because the Compendium purchase is $10, and you can get like a bunch of in-game items and point boosts and things like that. But the main thing is that okay, so for every Compendium that's bought, so it's $10, $2.50 of that purchase goes into a prize pool that goes towards the tournament. Every single year, the International has the biggest prize pool, like straight up the biggest prize pool in esports. We're still about 20 days left before the tournament actually, no, it's about 10 days left before the tournament begins. And the current prize pool is over $10 million.
Damn.
So that's just okay. And then to give you an idea of how that's grown, last year's Compendium, I think, was like $2 million for the prize pool.
will.
Well, I mean, that doesn't surprise me. We've certainly had episodes and as mentioned on downloadable content how esports are surging in popularity. So this just seems like a natural progression.
Yeah, but it's just like it's like a way for the fans to support like the game itself and the teams that they're rooting for, because like the money is always like this prize pool is like players. Like this is the money that the prize players get. Valve doesn't touch any other part of the prize pool, other than the fact that they get $700.50 from the initial compendium purchase. So if you do the math, Valve has made $30 million from this compendium thing just by itself.
And that's not including the Steam sale.
Yeah, that's not including the Steam sale or anything like that. Valve's paid $30 million in about a month.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
They probably just made that much money in the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, more likely because of the Steam sale games. But like, that's like to see this much money coming out of like the esports scene in general is really unheard of, considering that most of the prize pools previously for any big tournament may have been like $1 million. And it's usually like a team of 5 or something like that.
Which is still a pretty good chunk of change.
It's still a pretty good chunk of change, but like the prize pool we're talking right now is $10 million, and it's going to be divided up between, I want to say 8 or 16 teams. And usually how these prize structures end up breaking down is about half of it goes to the winning team, and then the remaining 50% goes to the last remaining players, like the remaining teams.
Yeah, it's like a prize purse.
Yeah, it's like a prize purse type thing. So you're talking like one team is going to win probably close to $5 million, and that basically means $1 million per player. Like that's mind-bogglingly shit tons of money.
And the older generation says that video games will just rot your brain. Yeah, my brain might be rotted, but I'm a rich man. I'm a rich asshole.
I'm a rich asshole now. I don't need my brain. I don't need my wallet full of cash.
Yeah. Video games are gonna rot my brain and make me antisocial, but I am a wealthy motherfucker. So.
Who needs a 9-to-5 job when I could just earn it by playing whatever all day?
Yeah. What the hell? Athletes do it.
Yeah, and the people that are playing these games, like the teams, like they have support structures in place. Like they have coaches, they have analysts. They can they do. I mean, like they aren't. It's not like they're not like just playing a game. Like they're working for it. Like they're spending like 8 hours a day, 12 hours a day, sometimes even longer than that, playing the game. And just trying to get better at it, working on their mechanics, working on their knowledge and interactions of champions and things like that. Like, this is definitely going to be like a really large prize pool, and I really hope that like this more than likely will probably be the largest thing to be watched on Twitch this year, because that's going to be like probably the main source of way people will be able to watch it. Although you can also watch it through the Dota 2 client as well.
If you can you actually pull up the dates of that competition?
I believe I want to say it's July 5th through 11th is when the actual the last they did all the they're doing all the they're finishing up the qualifiers right now. They're doing all the last little bit of the tournaments. I want to say the 5th through the 11th is when the actual international fort dates. Hang on. Lord Google, tell me when the international is happening.
July 18th through 21st.
Yeah.
I think if you do a search for Dota International 2014, I think that is the.
Yeah, here we go. It's taking place in Key Arena, which was in Seattle, and July 18th through 21st. So, and then you see that the page I'm looking at has the ticketing pricing. And so, you can watch it. You can actually go in and see it if you're in the Seattle area. If you feel like throwing down $100, but
it's going to be in Seattle. Well, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, Seattle's a great place for it. So
yeah, I believe last year when they did this, they did it in an opera house or something like that, and the place was freaking packed.
And I'm sure that
they're hanging off the ceiling basically for seats.
And I'm sure it'll be just as packed.
Mm-hmm.
So that is coming up July 18th through 21st.
Yeah. So I believe most of the teams have been picked. They're just doing like the last little bit. I know that like this is like an around the world competition. Like so, you have like teams from China, teams from Korea, teams from the U.S., teams from Europe coming in. Let me see what teams are actually in here as of so far. Okay, the teams that have been invited are Alliance, Invictus Gaming, Natus Vincere, which is Navi for short, Evil Geniuses, Team Empire, Team DK, VC Gaming, Newbie, Cloud9, Titan, and Fnatic. Teams that have qualified are Navi North America. They have like a European team and a North American team. Aero Gaming, LGD Gaming, and Mouse Sports. And other teams that are still in like the playoffs to try and get in are Team Liquid, MVP Phoenix, CIS Game, and Virtus Pro. And this is as of June 29th.
So, well, there you are. So it's looking like it's going to be a huge competition, and there's still a few weeks left before the main craziness.
I'm double checking here on how many teams are here. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, we're looking to be 16 teams, and they've narrowed down 15 of them. The last ones left are going to be from that Phase 1 playoffs team. So, the one of the four that I had named just a moment ago will be the last team to get into the international. Is what it looks like.
All right. And I'm sure you will be glued to Twitch for every second of it.
Yeah, probably.
That's all right. We've got the World Cup going on now, so you know now the gamers can get in and and go crazy.
Yeah, and I guess the thing I want to talk to you guys about is like, what's your opinion on having a $10 million tournament happening in about 2 weeks?
Come on, ESPN, secure the rights to this. It's
actually, like most of the people that are that do the esports stuff, like the commentators and like the people that have like been in the esports scene for like 10 years or longer, have said like if this goes to ESPN, it'd be like the worst thing that could happen.
Really? How come? Just out of curiosity.
ESPN will force people to play commercials to get their revenue.
Oh, okay.
And when the games are being played, you do not know when how long these games are going to last. Like, a game can last anywhere from 5 minutes. No, actually, 5 minutes would be impossible for some of these games. Like, for let's say for Dota 2, because that's what we're talking about. A game can last anywhere from 20 minutes to 2 hours. Now, it's unusual for a game to last 2 hours. Usually it ends between minute 30 and 60, but that's still 30 to 60 minutes of gameplay. You cannot stop in the middle of the gameplay. You cannot go to commercial in 15-minute mark. And what happens with these two is after a game gets played, you usually have 5-10 minutes for the analysts to talk about what happened in the game, what the teams can do to improve upon it, and for the players to relax, use the bathroom, things like that, before they begin the process of setting up for the next game, which is picking new champions, beginning of the game lobby, things like that. And so you only have this very small window for you to be able to play ads. And so the money that you would need to get from the ad place being played is an absurdly large amount of money, and the viewer base you would need for it is just not going to happen.
Got it.
Also keep in mind too that there are not that many, there are sponsors for the teams too, and so you're going to need sponsorship coverage of some type as well for the teams, and that's a whole new can of worms, just being how the teams handle being, and the sponsors handle being on TV, because some of them are going to be small computer Razer or Cooler Master, which is like a computer case type thing, and you don't even know how those handle too. Whereas for lack of a better term, they basically nailed down these types of things with Twitch already.
Got it.
And so like in like with like ESPN, like you're talking like at least 30 seconds, more than likely you're talking 3 to 5 minutes of ads. And especially with like a large block of gaming like that, like they'll probably want like if it's a 45-minute game, they're gonna want like 7 minutes of ads, and that's just not gonna happen to be able to A, show the game, and B, be able to talk about the game afterwards and say, because you have to present the game in both people who know what the game is and also people who are just seeing it for the first time. And like you need that analyst desk to explain why certain things happened and why one composition didn't work for this team and why it worked for the other team and things like that.
Cool.
Like more than likely, what we need to have happening is probably need to be like a pay-per-view type thing, where you pay $10 and get no commercials, and you sit there and just watch the game from start to finish, and maybe you get some like benefit of like you get to like switch between like one channel for the pay-per-view broadcast is like only shows the vision of like one team, and channel 2 shows the vision of the other team. Things like that.
This sounds like it's going to be one hell of a competition.
Oh yeah, I mean, when they played last, it was at least 300,000 concurrent viewers on the English stream, and there was at least that many on the European stream, the Korean stream, and the Chinese stream. And that's just in the Twitch itself metrics. That doesn't include the metrics they have for the games being broadcast in like Korea or China, where they actually have the TV model set up in China and Korea for these types of things.
Well, damn.
Yeah.
That's all I can say to that. It's just like, damn. I mean, this esports thing is we all suspected that it was just going to grow, and it just makes me happy to know that this continues to be a rapidly expanding and spectators, it's spectator sport. This is great.
Yeah, like I mean, like it's kind of weird how like Dota 2 is a little bit harder to spectate than it is other games. I feel just because of how the game is after playing like loaded in League, but they're both like definitely spectator sports. Like you can definitely watch it, and even if you don't know too much of what's going on, just seeing like they had a tournament being played today. Like just seeing some champion, just like someone to ghost ship and crash onto the enemy team is just like you don't even have to know that's good or bad. You just like really like that's freaking amazing.
Of course, one thing if you say it's gonna be this popular to watch, one thing that I think would really benefit them is if they could actually watch it on like Xbox Live and PlayStation Network. Like having the subscription to that would probably help.
Yeah, well, with how Valve does it, when you buy the compendium, you can actually watch the game being played from inside the Steam client itself. So, like, you can actually go inside to the game that they're being played. So, like, say for example, it's Evil Geniuses versus Team Liquid, which are like two really big North American teams that like have a really long-standing rivalry between each other. You can actually go into the actual game that they're playing and be able to spectate it, move the camera around however you want it, and it won't affect their playing in the slightest.
Alrighty. Well, cool. So we definitely have a huge competition to look forward to. That'll be in a few weeks, and somebody's going to win a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
Somebody's going to win a lot of money. So
yeah. And like also, you might see like the compendium purchasing isn't done yet. Like I believe it still goes into the like July 10th or 11th. This is one of the last day you can buy one.
All right, Ryan, you're up.
So I've been looking around, and especially seeing it when I go and look on videos on YouTube, I see a lot of ads and like different commercials for the videos on some games that are coming up, and it makes me wonder, do these games that are getting hyped so much, do they ever fully live up to their, like, do they fully live up to the quality they're getting hyped out? One of the games that's actually coming up that I have looked up, I don't know if I'm going to get it yet or not, is Destiny. Because I've seen a lot of hype about that game, and I mean, it looks good, but I'm still not sure on it because one of my biggest things about it is that from what I've been hearing, is that it's going to be an all-online game. And I've tried those all-online games, and I'm not the biggest fan of it. But I think that it could possibly get really good to some of the other gaming communities, especially the ones that do the online. And I'm curious to think, because I've seen that and I've seen some others. What really allows games, like, is it the hype that they get? Is it like the graphics? Is it whatever that allows certain games to get to like a more mainstream level compared to like other games that I've played that don't get as popular? Like, is there a certain factor that allows them to get to that mainstream level?
Well, and we brought this up a little bit during the E3 episode. I mean, Destiny is the latest being made by Bungie. And because Bungie's biggest claim to fame is Halo, and the incredible success that the Halo franchise got, there's kind of a huge expectation now. You know, basically, this is what happens when you have, you know, your first major entry being a success, and the runaway success that Halo was. So there is a immense expectation, and you know, I missed the Halo train when that came out. I did not play Halo 1 until 10 years later. So I missed out on all of the hype and all of the praise, because by the time I finally got to play Halo, I was like, because I had played shooting games that did it much better than Halo 1 ever did. So when I kind of was like, when I played Halo 1, I'm like, alright, you spend the first half of the game, you know, first-person shootery things, and then you spend the second half of the game running for your life. What? Okay, I failed to see the fun in this. So, Destiny, as we found out during E3, is not going to be a true MMO sort of game. It's going to have MMO elements, which kind of make me think that Bungie is trying to do something kind of like what maybe Dark Souls or Demon Souls might be doing, in that whole, you're connected to the network and you see other people playing through your game, but you can't actually enter. I have no idea, to be brutally honest. I was kind of left confused by that, you know, little bit of information from E3.
To kind of clarify that for you, for Destiny specifically, what I believe what's going to end up happening is I watched some, like, because of the alpha on PS4, I watched some people streaming it. What it looks like happens is when you play the game, all the people that are like in your relative area and in your relative like level as well, like they will randomly load into your game, and you can also join playing with them, and like you can both complete the same, like, the quest you're working on, and like it'll complete for both of you. So it's kind of sort of like forced co-op, but not entirely, because like you can still go off and do your own thing, but eventually you're gonna have to go back and complete the main quest and complete the stage.
Yeah, because I've seen some of those trailers for Destiny, and then another one that just recently came out, Watch Dogs. That I've heard good stuff about it, but my only thing that kind of really turns me off about it is that I've heard it's pretty much Grand Theft Auto, for just another version of Grand Theft Auto in this case, if you're doing different stuff.
That's kind of what I heard too. Most of the feedback I've heard about Watch Dogs is it's kind of a resounding meh.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
I play Watch Dogs. It kind of is Grand Theft Auto S, to be completely honest. Although it basically tries to be like a serious Grand Theft Auto, not the like over the top, dumb stuff that happens in Grand Theft Auto. Like, it tries to be like a more serious version. And it does it to a decent success, but it's kind of like we've already played this game before. And sure, the hacking thing is kind of cool, but it's basically not so much hacking as much as it is like, you press a button and the lights will turn all green, or the bridge will start rising up, or things like that. For the cinematic getaway, or the cinematic of having a car crash, so that way you can get away faster or catch up to a bad guy or something like that. It really is hard nowadays for game developers and people in general to like have a game that is so hyped to meet the expectation, just because of how, I guess for lack of a better term, how talkative the gaming community is.
Yeah, because
if they see a game, or they see something like that, or they see a game that seems interesting, or like a nice looking trailer, like the Bloodborne trailer from E3, which basically, for those who didn't see it, it basically looks to be steampunk Dark Souls, and people they saw that it's nothing but a cinematic trailer, no gameplay in the slightest. It's just a cinematic trailer, and people were losing their goddamn minds. I'm like, oh my god, it's gonna be the greatest thing ever, and I can't wait for this to come out. And I'm just like, we've seen this before. This is E3. What are you guys talking about? All that we saw is that it's maybe Dark Souls-esque in like a Victorian era setting. Like that looks kind of cool. Sure, that intrigues me. I want to see some actual gameplay, please. Show me gameplay before I actually buy into the hype.
Yeah, that's kind of what we should be doing. It's like, come on. Yeah. Like, and
the reason why we want a game to live with the expectation is we've seen what happens when a game does. We've seen like the Halo like Halo 3 specifically. I guess would be the best way I can think. Like the one that stands out to me the most is like, this was a game that people were hyping up for a long time, since Halo 2. It was gonna be like the flagship game for like the 360. It's like the first game that you buy a 360 for most people, and it's just and like mainstream media is paying attention to it, and like you're seeing like posters of 7-Eleven like coming for like a Master Chief Slurpee and crap like that, and like the game launches and it actually is it does live up to the hype, both in the story aspect of it, and for the single player, and for the multiplayer aspect. And that was like probably like the last game that I think I can think of that had such a large like hype storm built up for it and lived up to it. I guess maybe some more recent ones that are pretty close would be Modern Warfare 2 and Skyrim.
Yeah, Skyrim I know really lives up to the hype for that, but I'm not sure if I'm actually going to go for playing that one or not. I might, because it's had some really good reviews about it. Then one that I know that's coming up, and I hope it goes mainstream, but the series doesn't always. Assassin's Creed Unity looks really good. That's one that's coming up.
And like there's other like the issue right now is
that game.
Yeah, that game, like that the whole female thing aside, the issue right now with a lot of the game developers is they're suffering from a serious case of sequelitis, and usually you don't want to see that happen at the beginning of a new console generation. Like usually the beginning of the new console generation is when you can experiment and get away with like these like offline ideas of like how like for the 360 generation, how like you had Assassin's Creed begin on that, or for the PS3 you had like Infamous and God of War, and like you're not really seeing too much of that happening right now with the current console generation. Like, can you name a unique title like besides Destiny that you're excited about that isn't a sequel or or isn't on a like an actual console. Like it can't be a handle; it has to be an actual console. Like besides Destiny, because we're assuming it's going to be the next big thing. When my personal suspicions are that it's Borderlands that's a little bit more serious. Like, can you think of it if a new game that doesn't like with like interesting characters or storyline or graphics or gameplay that you're excited for?
In terms of are you talking about like new IPs?
Like new IPs, like can you think of a new IP that you're excited for that you were like, I want to know more about this game. I want to learn more about it. I want to see more gameplay. I want to see like some more like when's the release date? Like what system is it going to be on? Like I can't think of one.
I can think of one, and that's The Order.
Yeah, that one looks really good.
I mean that's probably
it's close.
I mean it's close. Like it's the reason why I'm so iffy of it is because what I saw at E3 made me think, oh my god, this is just going to quick time the game.
Well, we need more information. That's the thing.
Yeah. Like we have heard like we saw a trailer for it last E3, and this E3 we saw a trailer that's apparently maybe possibly is not a trailer, but actually like the first 30 seconds of the game. And like that's all we've seen of it. We have seen nothing else, and we don't even know like what is like this game's supposed to come out Q1 of 2015, something
like that. Yeah, it's next year.
Yeah, like, and more likely it's going to be pushed back again to June or like April or May. Like we've seen literal nothing about this game, and I just don't. I can sort of give you that one, but that's it. Like, that's one game on the PS4, I think, right?
Yeah, and also, you know, as we discussed in the E3 episode, you know, the only developer or anything that made me excited to buy was Nintendo.
Yeah.
And we already established that 2015 is going to be an amazing year for Nintendo.
Yeah, and like, I think about it now, like, we saw No Man's Land from PS4 as well. That looked interesting, but again, like, that is literally an indie developer of, like, 3 or 4 people being like, we have this game. We're not really done with it yet, but here's what we're thinking, and here's what we're hoping we can do. Please, for the love of God, let us finish this game. Let us finish this game and try and spend as much time as we can. Don't hype it up, don't hype it up, don't hype it up, don't hype it up. And people still hyped it up.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's just kind of like, oh my god.
So there we are. Ryan, did you have anything else to add to your hype question there, or have we answered it fully for you?
I think that gives it a good answer for the hype.
Okay. Because we have gone on about 50 minutes now in this first half, so some good points brought up all around, pieces of news, industry stuff. So on our second half, we'll throw out more stuff that we just want to bring to everybody's attention. We'll still be here after, you guys have a bit of music. So that'll be on our second half of our first free play episode of this season of downloadable content. We'll be back. Welcome back to Downloadable Content, our first free play episode of Season 4. Ron and Ryan are still here. They have not run away. They have not sunk deep into the depths of the internet or their consoles or anything like that. They're still here.
Somewhere in the ether.
Somewhere. Disembodied voices. That's how we usually play this. So, we continue on talking about anything and everything video game related in this free play episode, as is the case with all of our free play episodes. And so I want to open this second half with something that ended just recently. It actually ended yesterday, as of this recording. This was a charity event talking about, a lot of the good things that gamers do. We're not all antisocial dude bros. And even then, dude bros really need to just, go away. But be that as it may, there was a charity event going on this past week called the Summer Games Done Quick, in which for this year they were raising money for a charity that I've donated to, Doctors Without Borders. This was Summer Games Done Quick. It's basically for a week they speed run video games
24/7.
24/7. They for an entire week, and they ended up raising more. They raised at the end of it $713,338.96. Giving them a total, since the event came into existence, about $2.75 million.
Damn. That's actually pretty damn good.
So, very, very nicely done. Hats off to them. And, the whole thing was available to stream.
It was on Twitch. I watched some of it.
It was during this particular event that I saw a headline come across on Yahoo that somebody beat the original Super Mario Brothers in 5 minutes. Did that come out? That came out of this?
I do not know if it came out of this, but I'm watching the stream I'm watching the assessment on YouTube right now. I'm watching the record right now. And apparently, because I read up a little bit on Game Informer, apparently how the speedrunners do it is they try and figure out how, like, they calculate how long it took for you to beat a particular section, or in this case the game. They try and do it based on like warp zone or glitching or things like that. Apparently, the only thing that he did is there's a way to glitch how something is done in like with World 8-2 to let you get past the castle faster.
Yep.
And I'm watching that right now. Like I'm currently sitting at 2 minutes 30 seconds. He's already at World 8-1. Like, there's no glitching. It's basically just him constantly running, like, literally brushing pixels against, like, Goombas and piranha plants and falling into pits of bottomless pits. And he's just, like, running along, like, yeah, I've done this 5 million times before. Like, this is not going to be any big deal for me.
And, I watch on YouTube, like, speedruns, like the TAS speedruns, the tool-assisted speedruns. But, this is speed runs for a good cause. It's I'm taking a look at the schedule, what games they speed ran.
Yeah, it's a wide list. Like, I know previous ones they had done Chrono Trigger. I know that they did Final Fantasy VI, and that they were doing that as of when I went to bed this morning.
Let's see, what games did they do? Super Mario 3D World, Crash Bandicoot Warp, Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah. Okay, so I just saw the point in the speedrun where he glitched the castle in 8-2. It's actually it looks like a really specific glitch.
Yeah, I'm reading the article about that speedrun. It's a very specific glitch. You have to know exactly where it is and how to pull it off. Yeah,
basically, for those who don't know, like, he had to land on a bullet being shot out of a cannon that's next to where he was next to the flag at the end of the stage, and you have to hit the bullet, jump into the little pole thing, and then fall down into the brick that holds the pole up. And if you don't do that, you just walk over like normal and you lose 3 or 4 seconds or something like that.
They speed ran a fuck ton of games.
Mm-hmm.
My God, I'm looking at the list. Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse.
Whoa.
Earthworm Jim. A lot of classics here.
Yeah, they do. Generally speaking, they do a lot of the classics, and then they do the older, the newer, quote unquote newer games like your Super Mario World and other ones.
Somebody did Marble Madness.
Yeah, and like he just dropped Bowser in the lava at 457.69.
Yep. Super Meat Boy. Bastion. Somebody speed ran Bastion.
Doesn't surprise me.
Gianna Sisters Twisted Dreams. At least 100 games here I'm looking at, because there somebody speedran Octodad.
Mm-hmm.
Deadliest Catch. Duke Nukem 2, that's funny. And New Super Mario Brothers U and New Super Luigi U.
I know they did a specific run for Super Mario 64.
Yep.
I know that they're doing a raffle. Like one was a 16-star run, one was a 70-star run, and the other one was a 120-star run. Does it list which one they did or no?
Say that again.
They were holding like a bidding war, and then if they bid a certain amount by like X day or X time, like at a certain time, they would do a 16-star run, and if they exceeded that goal, they would do like a 70-star run, and then if they exceeded that goal, they would do a 120-star run.
Actually, I do not know. They did a Super Mario 64 120-star run.
Okay, they did a 120, so that means they had gotten $300,000 donated by that point in time, then I think, something like that.
I mean, if had I known this was going on, I would have probably donated some to the cause, or at the very least watched some, because
again, the nice thing with these two is that they're always on the archives, both in Twitch and on YouTube, so you can always go back and watch a specific game.
Yes, that is true, because this wasn't streaming on Twitch, I don't think.
Yeah, it was on Twitch.
Oh, it was on Twitch, okay.
Yeah.
But, so well done, raising over $700,000 for Doctors Without Borders. I mean, I know that there are events that happen for the Child's Play charity as well, but this was not one of them. So, very, very well done. I'm sure Doctors Without Borders was very thankful for that, so bunch of gamers coming together to do some good, always a lovely thing. So, speedrun video games, which is something I don't usually do.
Yeah.
I think the only game I legitimately speed ran, just because I could, was Resident Evil 3 Nemesis.
Oh, that must have been fun.
Once you play the minigame of Resident Evil 3 and unlock unlimited weapons unlimited ammo for all weapons.
Damn.
Then the game becomes a joke in terms of difficulty, and I managed to beat the game without saving and without dying, obviously, in about an hour.
Wow.
Resident Evil 3, this is normally a 6-7 hour game, and I managed to get it down to an hour. So, and that was years ago. I couldn't do that now because I'd be like, where the hell did... Oh, yeah, that's where that is. I'd be like, oh shit, Nemesis, run. So, I know a lot of people do speed runs for bragging rights, because there are videos all over YouTube. So, my question is, what's the point of doing speed runs? Just because you can?
Part of it's just because you can. Other times it's a challenge. Like with Super Mario Brothers, it's kind of a thing of like, this is a game that isn't particularly long if you know what you're doing. And so it's kind of like, if you know what you're doing, how fast can I beat the game? It's kind of like the old like your old racing games, like your fastest lap around, your fastest time around the lap. And it's like, well, can I do any better than that? Like, how can I tweak the system and like break certain things to do what I want to do and things like that. And it's kind of like that. It's also kind of interesting to see like how a game is coded in a particular way. Probably one of the better examples, and more recent ones too, is for Dark Souls 2. When people were speedrunning it, they were just going through the game and like trying to beat the game as fast as they could, and there were certain things they were doing to do that, but it was all within like the rules of the system. And then someone found out that there was a particular glitch with the binoculars, where if you zoom in on the binoculars and you roll and then let go of the binocular button, it sounds more difficult than it actually is. But you basically just start running at like an insanely fast speed, and you would then start glitching off the and because of that fast speed, you can run down. You can actually get to new locations, run up certain hills, and then go around certain particular barriers. So pretty much before this glitch was found, a speedrun for Dark Souls 2 was taking about hour 30, maybe like 2 hours to 90 minutes. After the glitch was found, the average speedrun now is like 30 minutes. And it's getting constantly smaller, and it's just because of this one glitch. And like, I don't know if you guys have played Dark Souls or not.
I have Dark Souls.
Yes, so you know exactly the concept of being like, basically what ends up happening is you're getting to the end of the game and you're like level 20.
Yeah, no. You know, Dark Souls is one of those. Yeah, you speedrun this game in that short amount of time. I think it would take me 90 minutes just to go like a few feet.
Yeah.
But again, it's also a thing of like, because you speedrun a game so much, you can almost, I don't want to say you can't predict RNG, but the enemies will always have a particular spawn point or in a particular location and things like that. So it's also really interesting too, because like for the speedruns, you have to, like for Dark Souls as the example, you have to run through a place where you have basically no light. And you basically just have to like, and you also have to do platforming on it too. So then, like if you don't platform right, you just fall into your death. So it's kind of like, usually what you would do is you run through the torch so that way you can see where you're going. But these people have done it so often and so much, they can go through blind without a torch and just jump to where they need to be and land perfectly safe.
Well, I mean, Dark Souls already is one of those games that prides itself on making you die.
Yeah.
In some of the most unfair ways possible.
Yeah, but generally speaking, with these people, like, if they die, more often than not, it's usually them dying just to save time and get back to a bonfire. Like,
that's
kind of
true.
down to a science. And it's basically just now is just kind of like working on the science of it. And other games also interesting too to see how the game is glitched. Like during the speedrun, they did Dishonored. And for those who didn't know, in Dishonored there's an ability called Blink, where you just teleport a short distance.
That was so fun to use.
Yeah, and like that's basically what all they did in the game was like they got Blink and they started blinking around all over the place and beat the game that way.
Mm-hmm.
Like it wasn't even like they were going slow. Like I think it took them 20 minutes to beat Dishonored from start to finish.
Yeah.
I could be wrong on the time on that, but it's just like they didn't really abuse any glitches either. Like there was some RNG involved. Actually, they did use some glitching, but it wasn't like anything major. Like it was basically just like jumping when you're crouching down to move faster, or jumping on an elevator to like to get to a location that you have to walk around like for another couple minutes. And like it's just them like just if like you can go back and watch the archive of it, it's literally basically just them just blinking all over the place And it's just like that's what the game developers were fine with. It's like we knew this was a broken ability, but we're fine with people having it because we want them to have fun.
And then there are games in which, glitches are just fucking annoying, like Skyrim.
Yeah.
Where, you can't complete certain quests because the game just derps itself at you.
Yeah. I do know that there was, this would have probably been January, where they did a speed run of F-Zero.
Oh, God! Okay.
I don't remember which F-Zero it was, but it was one of the more recent ones. I think it was the N64 one. So where basically, you, for them to beat the game so fast, you had to basically crash yourself into the wall constantly, and put your ship onto the brink of almost exploding. But by doing so, you go 1,200 miles an hour. And you just and you literally just launch yourself off the stage at certain sections and just skip literal sections of the track.
Wow.
I think it took him 30 minutes or so to beat the game from start to finish. And this basically was him just nearly crashing into the wall constantly, building up to this point of speed, and just literally throwing himself all over the map.
And hey, you win.
Yeah, basically, I think it ended up being that for most of the games, he would have finished the game before the AI had finished lap 1.
Wow.
And I used to think that Mario Kart would cheat.
Yeah.
It's just the odd situations and glitches that you see with games, and some of it isn't even So I mean, some are just kind of are game breaking like that, but other times it's just these are things that people just didn't think about or cover in the development cycle,
or didn't think, or obviously felt that gamers are too stupid for their own good and they're not going to find it.
Yeah, there was people that were streaming this morning. They were finishing up the summer games done quick, and they were doing Final Fantasy VI, and it's a 100% speed run. And their estimate was 7 hours and 30 minutes. And now, when they say by 100%, they mean that they have access to every spell. If they can learn every spell if need be, they can get any weapon if need be. They have all the characters, and they complete all the side quests before they even do Kefka's Tower. So
that's some patience.
Yeah. So they got to. When I finally stopped watching, they were 5 hours and 30 minutes into the game. They had already reached the World of Ruin, had recruited half of the cast, and were currently in the process of recruiting the second half. And that's I'm talking from beginning of the game to being in the middle of World of Ruin. They had the airship, they had I want to say 7 of the 14. And they were working on getting Lock next when I finally stopped watching.
And, and I'm looking, people speedrun Final Fantasy VI, which took me 60 hours to beat.
Yeah.
And I'm just how?
I mean, part of it is
memorization.
Part of it is just abusing certain items in the game.
I'll say you have to.
Okay, let's put it this way. Once you reach World of Ruin, you pretty much know what the first item you need to get is, right? If you played 6, you know you need to get the Moogle Bangle.
Yes.
So basically, that means you have to go get Mog.
Yeah.
So they get to World of Ruin. They save Sid. They get to the island. They get to the next continent. Skip Sabin. Get Edgar, go from Edgar to Mog, and get Mog. And that took them probably 15 minutes from World of Ruin beginning to get Mog.
Damn.
That's just them abusing items, running away from every fight.
Yeah, I was gonna say you have to run away from every fight.
Yeah.
You couldn't.
And they've gotten it down to a point where they spend specific time leveling characters to get to like the minimum requirement of like them being strong enough to beat the enemies in the game.
And obviously Kefka.
Yeah, and obviously Kefka. Memory serves, what they were basically doing was setting up for was their main team was going to be Terra, Cells, Shadow, and one other person. I don't know who. It might have been Mog. It might have been Sabin. But the reason for it was Shadow can throw. Terra and Cells are the main magic users, and magic in that game is freaking broken, even at like the lower levels, like with Ice 2.
Yes.
Like Ice 2 and Fire 2, like those spells are insanely strong on those two characters specifically. And then the last character basically just would be like either prevents them from getting into fights, or is someone that can just like ignore physical damage and just do raw damage.
Your tank usually.
Like they would. I think they were gonna do. They're probably gonna do Sabin for the last character for the Kefka fight, and just basically just being like, Terra's casting spells and morph. Cells is casting spells because she's the only one strong magic user. Shadow's throwing things, and Sabin's bum rushing.
Yes. Oh, that was one hell of a fun move.
Yeah. Do a 360. Watch Sabin spin around them, punching them in 5 billion times, and it ignores all damage. Oh, by the way, it's magical damage too.
Oh yeah, that was fun. That Kefka battle was interesting, but that some of those
and they weren't even doing certain things too. Like they were killing the dragons, but they weren't getting the jump box, so you didn't have X magic. They weren't getting all the chests. They're getting like the bare minimum that they needed to like buy items, get levels, and like that's it. And they were kind of they know the RNG to a certain point, and they can kind of like guesstimate on when things would happen. Actually, no, they probably would use Gogo for the last person. Now that I think about it, because they would have Gogo be like to be able to bum rush or cast spells.
So this is what people do. I mean, I don't have the time or patience to exploit a game and just whip it, just beat its ass senselessly. So
yeah, I mean, it's definitely it's the reason why I'm interested in it is because like these are games that I like. Generally speaking, like I like Final Fantasy VI, I like Mario and things like that. I just like seeing how people can abuse the game.
Oh yeah,
complete it, and like sometimes it's not even like a major game breaking glitch, like that Super Mario Brothers speedrun that we were talking about earlier. Like he used one glitch, and that was it. And like it's not even that big of a glitch; it just saved like 2 or 3 seconds. But that 2 or 3 seconds has them get a world record.
Yes, it's like wow. And Super Mario Brothers, especially when I see a speed run of that, pisses me off because it took me 15 years to beat that fucking game.
And it's just like, I was watching
without glitches or using Warp Zone.
Like he's literally like he used Warp Zone to get to World 4, then he used Warp Zone to get to World 8, and then you just see him running through World 8, and it's like, yeah, I'm literally a pixel away from death. My fuck face is I'm showing it right now. I give 0 fucks.
It's I see a 5-minute speedrun of Mario. I'm like, oh my god. It took me 15 years to beat this game legitimately, and then here's some schmuck who does it in 5 minutes. I feel that sort of same anger. Which is why when DDR was the thing, I'd play DDR in the mall or something in a little arcade. And
you do decently. You get some perfects, but like you're generally speaking, you're average. And then some schmuck walk ups to this kid like 5 years younger than you. You just see him being like perfect.
More, I put the game on like light mode, and I'm having fun.
Yeah, they're like expert master mode, and you're just watching them literally just like lighting up the goddamn stage.
And here comes this 8-year-old pimply shit next to me, and puts it on heavy mode, reverse arrow speed, and triple, and I just want to take like the glass bottle I have in my hand and just
Smack
mash
over
it
his face.
like, Jesus Christ! You asshole! Thank you! Thank you very much, you shit! But at the same time, I look at these speed runs of video games and I just look in awe. Like, wow. I wish I had the time.
Yeah, and it's also funny too because like usually what the speedrunners do with these glitches is they show the ones that are like semi game breaking, and they show the ones that are actual game breaking. Like they did like before they did the co-op run for Final or the 100% run for Final Fantasy VI. They showed a glitch where in the first 5 minutes of the game, he glitched himself into a world of ruin.
He glitched himself into a corner.
Yeah. No, and then it's actually how he was going to beat the game, is that he glitched himself into a world of ruin, and then he can use another glitch to get the airship, and then get the airship, fly to Kefka's tower, and use the Vanish Doom thing or Vanish Death to kill everything in the tower.
Oh, okay. Good.
And like, and again, like if for those who don't know, Vanish is an ability that lets you ignore all physical attacks, but you are guaranteed to get hit by a magical attack, even if you would be immune to it. So what you would do is you cast Vanish on an enemy, watch him disappear, wait till your next bar fills up again, cast Death, watch him die.
There you go.
There you go, GG, get out of here.
Basically. So
you get out of here.
So there we are, speed runs and speed runs for charity. Well done. So we are going to give Ryan the last word here.
Sounds good. And actually, I just looked up a game that I've heard it's been on like it's one of those casual games, but apparently the game.
You make it sound so derogatory. One of those casual games, like.
I can't help it. There are certain games that I classify as actually going full, well, actual platformers versus actual like other styles. And apparently there's this one game, Plants vs Zombies: Garden Warfare, is coming out for Sony platform.
Plants vs Zombies is one of those games that. I have to say, has a incredibly devoted following. I've never played any of the I've never played Plants vs. Zombies, but it's a biggie. It's a biggie. So what's got you intrigued?
To me, it's because I've always seen it like played casually, like on I think Facebook has it, and there are some other ones that have it too. I just never knew it actually went onto a platform. Because I would always think that it's just like one of those ones you play just for the heck of it when you want to kill time or something like that. But now that it's coming onto a platform, I'm intrigued, and it might be like, I might have to pick this up.
Plants vs Zombies. It's Garden Warfare. It's a multiplayer third-person shooter. It's actually made by PopCap. It was announced for the Xbox 360 and Xbox One, which it is on there currently, and it's on the PS3, or it will be on the PS3 and PS4 in August.
Ooh,
but it is currently on Xbox 360 and Xbox One now, and just came out on PC. So it's it's a tower defense, third-person shooter sort of game.
Oh yeah, one of those kinds.
So, I have never played them, but I know plenty of people who have, and I hear it's immensely fun.
I can imagine, especially because I played the tower defense with different versions of that, and it is especially fun when you feel like letting the enemy into a little bit, and then you bring out your huge, gigantic BFGs, as I call them, and just start annihilating the enemy. Like, you want to get so close, and you were getting so close, and then nope.
It's like, oh, so sorry.
Yeah, I haven't played tower defense in a while, but last time I did, that was one of my favorite games to play. So this is another reason why I watch it. You know, if it's like the tower defense, then I think I'm gonna have a lot of fun with it.
From what I know of the Plants vs Zombies, it's hilarious and quite zany and fun. The tower defense game's not usually my cup of tea, but like I said, I know plenty of people who have played, and I know that there was a occasion when I went to PAX that people were wearing, paper hats.
Oh yeah.
Plants or zombies or things like that, and it's published by EA, so I hope you don't have to offer a burnt sacrifice or have to deal with connection issues or DRM. Or, you have to wait 9 years for the game to actually register the fact that, hey, this game is actually installed. So, things like that.
Yeah, but it still looks interesting. I think I'm gonna give it a try and see how much zany fun I can have with it.
Go right ahead. It sounds incredibly silly. There are 2 other games in the series. You had the original Plants vs Zombies, which you can also get. The original Plants vs Zombies is on the Xbox Live Arcade. It's on PlayStation Network. It's on tablet and smartphones and Android and whatnot. So you can also, you can pick that up as well. That game's been out for about 3-4 years now, so.
Yeah.
And again, just silliness everywhere.
I love those kind of games that actually give you that whole silliness feel, because it's just like it's like a game to after work just come back and be like, yeah, work sucks. What? Okay, well I just go ahead and kill all these plants and zombies now just for the hell of it.
If you like tower defense games and silliness, do you have Xbox 360?
I have a PS3.
You have a PS3, so I do not know if this game is actually out on PS3. Because the game I was going to suggest now, it's Xbox 360. Damn. It's called Happy Wars.
I've heard about that actually.
It's another tower defense game, but incredibly cartoony. To the point of absurdity. It's basically a role-playing strategy. It's 15 on 15 online multiplayer.
Wow.
And it works pretty well on the Xbox Live, Xbox 360. It's you can play as either a warrior, cleric, or a mage, and you have to you have to defend your tower. You also build towers during the course of play, and the object of each round is to have either to destroy the enemy's tower or construct the most respawn points by the end of 15 minutes. And you get scored based on each what you do in each round, things like that. And some of the armor and weaponry that you can use, it's so silly and so cartoony, and I enjoy it immensely. It's one of those games I play where I'm like, you know what? I don't want to play a serious game right now.
Yeah.
I just want to waste some time, and it's quite fun. It was Happy Wars was the very first game that was ever offered as a free download for Xbox Live Gold members.
Nice.
So it was it's a very, very fun time waster. So yeah, go ahead and get Plants vs Zombies. Let me know what you think of it. And maybe I will end up getting it as well once I have that thing called money.
Yeah, I know. It's that's even the fun part. Is I think I should have enough saved up by then to get maybe this and maybe one other thing. But yeah, my budget is restricted.
You just graduated college. You should be flat out broke with about $100,000 in debt.
I have a little bit that I managed to save up doing a job that I have at college. Other than just like not much.
Go heal some animals or something, and
Yeah, I actually get to start. Hopefully start that job July 14th. Actually, so
All right. Well, good on you for that. So it is on that particular note that I would like to wind down, because we've gone at this now about an hour and a half, and we still have other free play episodes to do. So don't worry, there will be more.
yes.
There will be more, and we will have more people on and things like that. So let me see if I can. Ron has been very quiet. Let's see if I can drag him back.
I know there was one small thing I saw was that apparently Oculus Rift picked up the people that made the Xbox 360 controller.
Did they?
They might have. I'm going to double check because I saw that on Game Informer and I was like, it's not. I mean, like, I don't know what they were doing. Like, I saw the board, but I didn't really go too deep into it.
Oculus Rift. Okay, let's consult Lord Google. Yeah, you're right.
Damn.
You are absolutely correct. Facebook's Oculus VR... Oh, shut up, pop-up. Facebook Oculus VR acquires the company behind the Xbox 360 controller design.
Oh, shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I don't know...
The company Carbon Design, based in Seattle. Why is all this based in Seattle?
Microsoft.
Microsoft, yeah.
Yeah.
Duh. So, what do they plan to do? Add a virtual controller to the Oculus?
Maybe figure out a way to plug an Oculus into an Xbox 360 or something like that, or an Oculus into a handheld controller.
Or maybe you can make it so that you can attach 5 Oculuses to your face at the same time.
Yeah.
So, was that all you wish to add?
You all kind of basically. I was like, why did they get the Xbox? Why is it that the people that made the Xbox 360 controller? Because it's not that good of a controller. I mean, it's a decent design, but like almost everything on the Xbox 360 controller is pretty terrible. Like, especially the D-pad. Holy crap! You want to talk about how not to make a D-pad? You look at the Xbox 360 D-pad.
I think Nintendo's cornered the market on the D-pad.
Yeah,
Sony and Microsoft cannot do a good directional pad to save their life.
Sony's is decent. Like, they did the best they could given the circumstances, but the Microsoft is just god awful. Literal worst D-pad in existence.
Which is why I never use it.
Yeah.
And most games I've played on the 360 or on Steam don't use it.
Yeah. If they use it, they use mainly just for like menu, and that's it.
Yeah, which is about all it's good for. So, if that is the last thing you want to mention, then we're going to put this to bed.
Sounds good.
So, if you have any questions, comments on this episode or any other episode of Downloadable Content, you can get in touch with us a variety of ways. Facebook.com/DLContent, at Twitter at DLContent, on Tumblr, dlcpodcast.tumblr.com, or using the old ancient archaic method known as email, dlcontent1@gmail.com. And of course, all episodes can be found on iTunes, YouTube, and Stitcher. So a whole slew of ways to get downloadable content into your ears.
Mm-hmm.
Take that as you will. So it remains for me to thank Ryan and Ron once again. And with that happy thought, I'm Brian. Have a good one, everybody.